Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Let's Debrief podcast.
Hello, I am Ashley.
And I'm Jenna.
And we are so happy that you're here today, spending your Wednesday with us. And it is officially fall.
Oh, it's fall.
It's fall, all right.
Although I did see that it's going to be 75 next week, which both of us will be gone. But that's fine because I'm wanting the fall vibes now.
I am wanting it now. And I was going to say, the weather that we had last week, I was holding on to where it was every single day was sunny but chilly. I was like, oh yeah, this is peak weather enjoyment for life. But this coffee shop in our town that we love, that was closed for a long time, opened back up, and I have been thriving. And I love having the Breville, but there is something about just going and getting a coffee, and I've been thriving from going there, getting the coffee, and then pushing Monty around in the stroller. Oh, yeah,
in the fall weather.
I was thinking about it as we were coming here this morning. I was like, oh, a cinnamon roll from there would be so good. But we also have a coffee shop that's 10 minutes away, and it just sometimes it works out, you run out of beans or you're out of milk, and both of those things happened on Sunday. And we realized it as we woke up and before church, and we were like, all right, we have to get ready right now if we want to go get chais from Mechanic. And if you are local in that area, chais from Mechanic are elite. They're so good.
And there is just, I love having the at-home coffee for most times, but it does make it a little bit more special when you go get it. It's a little fun. It's literally an experience.
Yes,
it's an activity to do.
It absolutely is. And when I was a nanny, I know how you feel as a mom now. I would take the kid out and be like, well, let's go to this coffee shop, and then maybe we'll go to the library.
You have to get out of the house every day, or you will go insane. You have to go somewhere. I just saw this mom on TikTok that was saying I have 3 boys and we go somewhere every single day and we don't spend any money, and here's what we do. And she was like, we go to Lowe's and look at the plants and talk about them and stuff. And there were so many cute ideas. That's really cute. And I was like, I need this.
Yeah, I helped a friend out the other day and was watching their kids, and we just went to an indoor play area, and then went to Chick-fil-A. I mean, that's spending money, but then went to Chick-fil-A and then went to the park, and I was just like, oh, this is so nice.
It's so nice. And I feel like kids are so much happier when they're just out of Monty will start to get fussy if she's just in her playroom for too long, and I'm like, okay, we gotta either go do something, go on a walk.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys live in such a beautiful area too that it's walking is free.
Yes, and there's a lot of good nature-y spots close by that we can just
scoot on over to.
Yes, which I need to say this.
Oh,
well, I don't need to, but
I must.
She grew out of the carrier, so that has been kind of hard lately because she grew out of it, so she can almost kind of fling herself out of it.
Oh my god!
But also it really hurts my back now because she's really heavy.
She's getting big. She's a long baby.
Yes, and she's not my friend. She's an acquaintance on Instagram. She had one that was the same brand but for bigger babies, and it has a waist strap.
Yeah.
So she's sending
for the support.
It to me,
oh, that's so nice.
I am so happy.
So you can still cut her because she's a cuddler now too.
Yes.
She loves her mom.
She is.
It's been a lifetime, I feel since we've recorded. Obviously, you don't know that as listeners.
Well, the last 2 episodes have now been us with our husbands separately. And before that, we did an interview. So that wasn't really
an us catching up, which we took a poll not that long ago of what do you like? And to the listeners of what do you want to hear from us? And a lot of people said that they like just hearing us catch up. And so I was wonderful, because that's what we're good at.
Yes. I feel it's so funny because I feel myself not saying stuff to you when we're texting or voice memoing.
And also these past few weeks in particular, so much life has happened for the two of us, so literally, because it's probably been 2 or 3 weeks since we've recorded, and so much has happened. And obviously we text or we'll send voice messages, but I'm I actually feel I haven't talked to you that much.
Yeah, I haven't told you things in person.
Yeah, so, and we haven't seen each other too. Photo, it's
fall
wedding season, so we both are just in chaos mode. This is your first intense wedding season as a mom, so
yes,
there's a lot going on. But you go first. What's been new with you?
Well, okay, so last week was the episode of Tanner and I, and I touched on the fact that Buddy passed.
Yeah.
But I was very emotional at the time.
It was still so fresh.
I think it was like 3 or 4 days after.
Yeah.
But I'm doing much better now, so I wanted to give like a little recap of what happened with that.
Yeah.
It's been like a week and a half now, so it's getting better. But
and if at any point you want to stop, obviously you can.
Yeah, I'm good now. But Buddy, obviously, like the listeners have heard us being like, if anybody wants a beagle, like come get him, like whatever. Like it had been extremely hard having him like since Monty was born.
Yeah.
And looking back, like I obviously so many things are felt after the fact, and like you only remember the good things once like someone passes. And so there's like, I have a lot of guilt that I was like not very present with him and not really enjoying him since Monty was here, which of course any mom or really anyone can probably understand that, like once you have a child, your pets do come
naturally come secondary. Yeah.
Yes. But I also have a lot of guilt because I'm like, I don't know if I like if he was getting sick and that he maybe was in pain and that was what caused him to be more annoying since Monty was born. And like, I do feel like since we moved to this house, like, and you might agree from the last house, like he barked so much more. He would whine for no reason. And I just thought he was just like literally being annoying, or that I was like, just I couldn't, it was more annoying to me because I had a baby now, if that made sense.
Well, your last house, and like we all agreed, because even like the one before that, you were on like street level. Your last house, you were above like street level, and so he didn't see as many people walk by, and anytime he barked, like it was only for deer.
Yes.
And so it was definitely just a different layout. But I mean, yeah, here it was like every car, every person on a walk, it was just like, hi.
Yes. And so I don't know if like he was starting to get sick and I didn't realize it or anything. But basically like two weeks before he passed, he started getting really like bad, like not bad, but like he started having a bunch of accidents in the house. He started whining all day, every day. Yeah. And like he usually would sleep downstairs, like in this room, and then like we would close the gate and we would go upstairs, and
he had a comfy bed and everything with access to his food and water.
Yeah, he had done that for a year
since you guys have lived here. Yeah.
And he would bark so loud to come up to our room, so we would let him come in our room, and even in there he would just be crying and up all night long. He was like limping really bad. Like he could barely walk. Like it just happened so fast.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like this decline. And he was just in so much pain. So took him to the vet. They ran like a bunch of tests and they found a whole bunch of stuff that was wrong with him. He had like multiple diseases that they found just like by blood work. But they found a bunch of tumors in his back, and in his liver he had like a cancerous tumor, which they found like elevated enzymes or whatever by the blood work, so they knew that the tumor was cancerous. Anyways, the vet ended up giving us pain medicine, and they were like, okay, just give him 1 per day. It would not do
even touch his pain,
anything to him. So I called the vet back the next day. I'm like, I got to give this dog more. He's like, okay, you can give him 3 max and come in and get these other pills that we'll put on top of them. I literally gave him 3 of both pills, which was like the max dosage, and he still like could not handle it.
Sweet guy.
And so anyways, we ended up having a vet come to the house and put him down here, which was a really great like experience. Like I'm really happy that it wasn't like that we had to drive him into the vet and do it there, because
it's just very like,
and they just get so like revved up at the vet, and like it's just not the vibe. And so it was so nice, but like once they scheduled the appointment until it actually happened was the worst like day of my life. Not of my life, but like it was so terrible just being like, this is his last like walk, like this is his last
meal.
Like everything. Like I just went out and bought him like a ton of hot dogs. I made him a bunch of ground beef, and it was just like the most heartbreaking day ever. Just being like, okay, like you're never gonna go in the car again. Like, oh, it was so horrible.
Just the impendingness of it. I mean, like, and when I've had like, I've only had like one dog like pass away like in my family, and it was like you could kind of see it progress, but then like the day that she ended up passing away, it wasn't like we knew it. It was just like, okay, she's kind of declining. Yeah, like, yeah, we took her to the vet, and they're like, okay, like we'll keep her overnight, like maybe say your goodbyes just in case. And then like once we left, she, you know, like dogs just like,
it happens.
They
so
know
fast.
like when you're not, they don't want like to do it in front of you sometimes, and that's like definitely what it was. And so it was like, okay, like I could kind of like see it coming, but like but it was a little bit more sudden. But to know on this date
at this time
is heartbreaking.
It was so hard, and I was just like crying. Like I could not stop crying all day. And so anyways, the vet ended up coming at 9 a.m. and it was just so sad. Like I answered the door and I was just like sobbing, and she was so nice. She came in, she was like, I know, like she just looked at me, she's like, I know, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's okay.
How do they keep it together? How do they like
I don't know.
This is their entire career.
Well, she was like a large animal vet, which like I guess like
it's like Buddy was small.
we eat cows, so it's like hard, but I'm like, are they different than dogs? I don't know. Like, gosh. I don't know. But
if you're Joey, please tune out this entire conversation.
So she would work with like a lot of like large animals, and I don't know if that's like less emotional because people don't like view them as pets or anything. But anyway, so she came in and she's like, okay, we're gonna give him like a shot. It's gonna like put him to sleep, and then we'll do like whatever the actual thing. She gives him the shot, and it's like based on their weight. She's like, okay, it might be a few minutes. He literally is like just walking around. Then he like starts walking around, lays down somewhere else. She's like, okay, like maybe we'll give him another one. Gives him another one, and like we literally have to like get him to come back over because we like laid out a blanket and stuff. We have to get him to come back over and lay down. And she like gives him another one. He's like sitting there. We're like forcing him to sit because he's like trying to just walk, like not upset or anything. He's just like chilling.
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing?
There's also painkillers in that, so like he was like
so he's like, I feel
good, like let's go. And so she ended up having to give him 3 times the dose of what it was.
He was a beefy boy.
Yes, for him to finally fall asleep. And he was just sleeping, and then that was when we were like really holding him, and he was doing his snorts, which was just like sad but also so sweet because like I just knew he was like relaxed and happy. Then he looked up and gave me one last sniff on my face, and it was so sweet. And then he just like laid down, and then she did the thing, and he just like stopped snorting, and it was that. Which then it was so weird because we had to wait for the cremation people to come. And they were like 30 minutes later, and the vet just left.
And she was like, all right, well,
and he was just there. And we're like, okay. The cremation guy comes in and goes, that is the biggest beagle I've ever seen in my life. And we're like, yeah.
Yeah, he's beefy.
So anyways, they took him, and then we went to the funeral home. We got his little thing of ashes. And they were so, so great. So, anyways, it happened. And I was, like, wrecked for, like, 3 days after. Because, again, of course, like, it's just, like, after someone passes, you just can only think of the good things. Which, like, not that there's any reason to think of the bad things. But it's just, like, I just, like, I just was, like, I miss him so much. And, like, even though I was so annoyed by him at the end, like, I was just like, you would hear a sound and just be like, oh, there he is. And then be like, he died. Like, it was just so, like, shocking when they live with you for so long.
I mean, what was that? Like 4 or 5 years of your life?
even just
very formative to your adult years too.
Yes, and like even just coming home, I would always expect him to just be in the window, and then I would look and not see him, and it was just like you would realize it over and over, and that was like really hard. I know it was the right thing to do. Like I was never like, oh, I wish we would have like kept him alive longer. Like the
options, I mean, literally were shell out thousands of dollars to give him cancer treatment for this 13-year-old beagle,
which the vet literally said 13 is their max lifespan. So he was miserable. Like, and even those last few weeks without the cancer, like he could barely walk. His legs were starting to get paralyzed in the back.
Poor guy.
So I know it was the right thing. It was just like so heartbreaking. I just kept telling Tanner I just miss him so much. But then the day that it happened, we decided to like go for a walk because we just wanted to get our mind off of it. And I like just this random store in town that I've never went into had like this stuffed beagle in the window. And I was like, let's go get it. And so we went and got it for Monty, and literally his collar fit perfectly on it. And so we gave her that.
Her little buddy.
And it's so crazy because whenever she like moves it or if it shakes, it sounds just like how he would sound.
Walking.
Exactly. Like the way that the collar is, it just sounds just like him. So that was really sweet, but also made me cry so much. But I'm feeling much better now.
Yeah.
And
it's definitely like it's such, we had like another friend like same week like experience the loss of a dog, and I like I said earlier, like I lost like my childhood dog like 7 years ago probably at this point, and I just remember I was a teenager, and I just remember being like, it feels so silly to like be crying over a dog, but I'm just like, they literally just their entire life is dedicated to you and showing you unconditional love, and it's just heartbreaking.
And they live with you.
Yeah.
Like it's literally like, regardless of if you think it's like a big deal, like it is a thing that lives in your house that you interact with every single day for multiple years.
Yeah.
And whenever they're gone, it's just so shocking. And yeah, they are just so innocent that it's like, I'm sorry that this happened to you. It's like, it just sucks, but I feel like it's gotten better over the past few
heals
days.
all wounds.
Time heals all wounds. But
yeah, I feel like we did an episode like months ago at this point that was like, everything's going wrong, everything's happening, and it was like that for the both of us. But I feel like if you wanted to talk about it, I feel like you've just really been getting like crap beat out of you.
Yeah, I mean, between
the buddy thing being at like the top of the list.
Yes, and then like we all have been sick. Everyone has been sick, I feel. But Tanner and Monty got super sick, and like that, she actually got sick the day of our picnic.
Yeah.
That was the first day. And I said this before, when kids are sick, they just don't sleep.
Yeah.
And
because
for naps,
they're like, even when like you're an adult and you're sick, like, okay, you wake up in the middle of the night with a stuffy nose, you blow it, like, and you try to go back to sleep. But yeah, when you're a kid, like you just are like, I don't know what is happening, but I hate it.
Yeah. And they like won't sleep for naps, which then like, if she usually will sleep like an hour and a half. If she wakes up after 30 minutes, she's going to be mad, and then she has snot pouring down her face. Then Tanner was sick too. And that just threw everything off. Now, like, she's having separation anxiety from me, which is like very like a big milestone at 10 months, which the separation anxiety then leads to a sleep regression, because every time they wake up, even though before they knew how to cycle through sleep cycles, they still know how, but now when they wake up, instead of being like, oh, I want like rocked, or oh, I want like fed or something like they would when they're younger, now they're like, I'm never going to see my mom again. That's literally what they think, because they don't understand object permanence. And so everyone's like, there's not really much you can do except like the fear is real, and they need to know that you will come back so you can go in. And I'm like, okay, but then like she only wants me, like she does not want Tanner. And so it's kind of nice in a way during the days, because she used to not snuggle me, not care at all. Now she's obsessed with me. But it is also like concerning, because I'm like, okay, like My biggest anxiety as a mom is always like, I'm creating a bad habit. And I know it's like completely biologically natural for them to like be obsessed with their moms, but I'm just always like, I just start thinking in my mind, well, whenever I have to go to a wedding, she's going to freak out and she's not going to go down for anyone else. And it's going to be this whole thing. And I just like spiral. But I'm sure it's fine. Everyone has said it lasts like a few weeks and it'll start to get better. And there's like games you can play to help them learn object permanence and stuff.
Oh, there you go.
So we're working on it, but
it's a work in progress.
It's just been a lot. And then of course, busy wedding season on top of everything. It's just really but we had a good night's sleep last night. So
good. So hopefully it's starting to look up and up. And we're both, this is so funny. Like I had told Jenna that we booked a trip for our anniversary and then you guys were looking to get away. You were like, we just want to do something. And you booked a trip the exact same dates, like obviously to a different place. But so we're going to be gone. We're all both leaving on a trip on Sunday.
Yeah. And coming back the same day, right?
Yeah.
But different times. But yeah. So I feel like we can say a little bit about it, but we should save that for another recap when we come back.
Yeah.
But I'm going to Colorado. You're going to Maine.
Yes.
And yeah.
Did you guys have any specific reason for picking Colorado? Like obviously just you've been there before. You love it.
We wanted to just go somewhere out west, and it was like the cheapest flights.
Nice.
And the easiest. We found nonstops, which is like unheard of.
Yeah, that's
these days
gold
for like
something going to the west too.
I don't understand why flights have been so much lately.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I know that I don't know if I said this on an episode, but we loved Maine when we went in June. And when thinking of where we wanted to go for our anniversary, I just looked on Google Flights and I was like, all right, where can you take me? And it was like $150 nonstop to Maine. And I've told you about Breeze.
Yeah. I've looked at their stuff.
Yeah, I feel it. I'll be interested. My sister has flown Breeze, but I haven't. And we fly Spirit to Orlando because literally it'll get us there for like $70. And I'm like, I'm not looking for anything fancy. So I wonder how it will match up to Spirit.
Yeah, I'm very excited to hear your experience. I feel like I'm not like, I don't care very much about like it being like a quality like plane or like good seats or whatever. I just don't want like delays or lost baggage. That's like the big thing that I'm like
Yeah, and we are checking a bag just because I was like, it's like obviously gonna be colder weather, like, and we usually share, so like we're sharing one check bag and we're like, we're gonna have sweaters and stuff. And so, but a little travel tip, again, it doesn't prevent it from getting lost, but if it gets lost, you know where it is putting an air tag in your luggage, your check bag.
Yes, which that has been your hack. I would be so like checking it 24/7. So it goes under the plane.
Yeah.
And so if you are taking off and you see it's not with you,
you're just like, damn.
Like, okay.
But like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, Cole is usually like pretty like on it. And when we get to like Florida, typically he's like, all right, I see it. Like, yeah, it's here with us.
That's
but
good.
Yeah, if you do see it stuck back in where you came from, I was like, oh, dang, that sucks.
I don't want to jinx myself. Really don't want to, but I've never had a lost bag, and I feel like everyone has.
Me either. I feel like literally everybody I know is like, oh,
they lost my bag.
And I'm like, what? But I feel like, especially when like I try to do like on long flights, like when we went to Greece last year, we just shared a carry-on because I was like, I don't want a big suitcase, first of all, but also I'm not trying to like wait like for it to come out on the line. I just want it with me the entire time.
That's what we usually do is like, if we do, we share one, if we check one.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, when we went to Europe, we literally just took 2 backpacks, but you guys will understand this. It's so hard if you're bringing camera stuff too, because you don't want to check that.
Oh, never. Well, that's what when we went to Cancun earlier this year, we went to Florida and then from Florida went to Cancun, and we put a air tag in the Pelican case that we had, but then kept that with us because it was still just like, okay, if any, like you see a Pelican case, you're like, okay, that's expensive stuff.
Nice gear.
And we're like, if anybody even like looks like, or if anybody tries to steal it, at least we know where it's going.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's never going to leave our side.
Yeah. I always think about, cause like when we went to Italy to shoot that wedding, we had all of our photo and video gear, and we had to, like, you have to carry it through the airport, and we don't have a Pelican, which I would love to invest in one. Because we have to carry it on our backs, and it's so heavy. And
you just had it like in your camera bag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so heavy. I've gotten my like wedding day like gear. Yeah, I feel like it even is when I'm just shooting my own wedding, like it down to just holding my camera, putting the flash on it, and having like a little sling bag, just because I'm like, I'm not lugging this stuff around all day.
I used to always do the harness with 2 cameras on it. I just hold my 1 camera, and it's like if you have a second shooter and something happens, you're gonna have time to run back and grab your other camera from your bag. I don't need to have it, and I don't like switch between Zoom and stuff. I just keep my 1. And yeah, but then it's so hard when you're traveling. You're like, oh, I could just bring my 1 camera, but the chance that something would happen.
And where you have access to nothing. And I mean, I guess in Italy you did have Peter as a second shooter, but I was like, to have no second shooter too, it really just all depends.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
It's terrifying. So it's like, I guess I'll bring my second camera. I never touched it.
Yeah.
But it
never even looked in
its
direction.
10 pounds to my bag. And then...
But anxiety said, thank you.
Yeah, literally. So, do you have any other big life updates before we
just continue talking?
Before we do the report?
Oh, yes. Okay. I wrote them down on the way here because I was just like, what's been going on? The most recent one is that we went to the Jonas Brothers concert last night, which was very sweet. And it was fun. Like, I feel like I had like 2 different like ways of approaching it, and I was just like, I think it will be fun to go for the nostalgia of it, but then like I was like, also I don't want to like seem like a super fan or like whatever, I don't know. I was just like, I'm just chilling. And it honestly was like great. Like they played every single song that they have ever, like, what? That was their whole bit, was like, we're playing through 5 albums.
So basically they're copying the Eras Tour.
Yes. And then one of my, like, we went with Katie, and one of her friends came with us, and she said she went to Ed Sheeran recently where he was doing the same thing. And I was like, yeah, no, she's like, oh, are like record labels like pushing this more? And I was like, no, they're all just copying Taylor Swift.
It does kind of make sense for like artists that are like, and this is not about Taylor, but other artists that are like falling off, like maybe not.
Like, let's remind you what made us so great.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we're going to be playing the old stuff. And then they're like, okay, like I want to hear Burn It Up, so I'll be there.
Yeah. And there was like a lot of songs that like, I mean, I really didn't know. Like I was like, Jonas Brothers was my first concert, but I'm definitely like since then haven't been like a super fan. Like I listened to their new album and I knew some stuff like when they were singing it. But there were some years on the in-between where I was like, oh, I know one song off that album.
Yeah.
But it was fun. So, and also when I say that they played every song, it would be like sometimes a minute of like one song. And it was just a lot of medleys, like where they just kind of flowed into like the other song and sang like the big chorus like from that song and then like flowed out of it. And so, because they came on like around 8:15 and I think ended at like 11.
Wow.
So it was or maybe like 10:45ish. It was a long time. But they were great. They're really good performers. And I was like, this was fun.
Did Joe say anything about Sophie?
No. Didn't say anything, but was definitely like hamming it up. Like I feel like he was like, he knew he was like single. If you know what I mean? Like I don't know. He was just like
loving himself.
But honestly, like I feel like a lot of people that I interact with have been like, I'm Team Sophie. And then being at the concert last night when he came out, everyone was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I didn't realize he had this many fans backing him up.
I think everyone thinks he's the hottest one.
Oh,
for sure.
I also
I don't really.
I've loved him like since the beginning. Not that that's any kind of flex, but
I always liked Nick.
Yeah.
Which I told you this before we started recording, but Jonas Brothers was also my first concert. Which if you,
where did you see them?
I was just gonna say, do you know the Palace Theater in Greensburg?
Oh yeah.
It literally holds like 300 people. They performed there. I was in 5th grade.
Wild.
And then they did a meet and greet after because they were like, we sold this show out. Like we're gonna do a meet and greet. And I remember it was cute. Like right when Camp Rock came out, so they like didn't have like a lot of fans, and I didn't really even know a lot of the songs when I went to the concert.
Their early stuff, like they started in the beginning, and they were like, we wrote this album in our mom's like basement when we were 14, and I was just like, I really don't know a lot of these songs.
Oh yeah, well at the end when they did the meet and greet, it was for people who bought a CD. So we bought a CD and then they like signed it. And I just remember being in my room listening to the CD and just being like, thinking about the concert and just like
that era was so like of the Jonas Brothers, but then also Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato's first album, which she's I don't know if you knew this, she's remaking it right now and
also copying Taylor.
Yeah, that's true. Which I feel like wasn't she under Scooter Braun too?
Oh, I don't know.
I think she also just got like broke her deal with him, but she's releasing her stuff, but it's like metal now. Yeah, like she's redoing like La La Land and Heart Attack and
I think I'd have a heart attack.
But I was specifically remember listening to Demi Lovato's CD and like doing like dance moves to it in my room. I was like,
did you make up dances all the time? Was that a part of your culture?
Kind of. I feel like not like a ton, maybe as much like as some people did, but I was more of a closeted dancer.
Making up dances was my Roman Empire.
No, I could 1,000% see that. That checks out.
And I would always sell tickets to my parents. They would come and see.
You're like, you're going to want to see this show.
I would sell tickets to my stuffed animals.
Since you were little, you were like trying to make a buck between the CDs.
No, I was just trying to be famous.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, if you're famous, people are gonna pay for
it. You're gonna make some money. So anyways, yeah, we went to the Jonas Brothers last night. It was a lot of fun. What else is new? I don't think there's anything else on that front. But yeah, I said leave for Maine on Sunday for our anniversary. We will have been married 1 year. So very sweet.
That is so fun.
I know. I can't believe that much time has passed at all.
Me either. Literally. Okay, so the wedding I shot on Saturday, it was super rainy. There was like a big white house that they got ready in, and then like they had the wedding in a tent. And I was like, this is Cole and Ashley's wedding. And I was like, but I mean, it's not like same time. And then I was like, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
It was literally a year ago.
Yeah.
It was 1 week before.
I have a bride right now for 2024, and we did their engagement photos the other day, and she was like, I was like, oh, like, and they were planning a backyard wedding, but then it sounds like it wasn't going to work out. And she was like, yeah, so we're venue hunting. And I was like, I texted her afterwards and sent her the link to our venue. And I was like, if this fits the vibe, I'm not sure. And she was like, oh my gosh, it totally fits the vibe. So now I'm praying that she books there, because then we obviously we'll shoot their wedding there. And I just think it would be so magical. I love that venue. And obviously you haven't listened to it yet, but on our episode, someone asked us like, did you like your venue? Like, I've been thinking about it. And we were like, yes, like, please book it.
That's so cute.
We love it so much.
It was a really great venue. Yeah. And I always go back to how much I loved the rain.
Yes.
But if it was a sunny day, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like just outside.
Literally the rehearsal dinner. Like,
oh, so perfect.
So by the time you guys are listening to this is like long gone. But tonight we're going to do photos with our wedding photographer, Summer, who we love. She offered us an anniversary shoot, and so we're going to like have like a makeshift picnic on like the grounds of our venue.
Did you have to ask them?
Yeah, I just like not DM'd her. I just emailed her and was like, hi, like we were thinking about this. And she uses all of Summer's photos from our wedding for like their website and stuff. She was like, absolutely. I was like, we don't need access to the house. Like we just want like the grounds and stuff. And she was like, absolutely. Like if you need anything, let me know. Like please just send me the link to the gallery so we can post them. And I was like, yes, of course.
That's so cute.
So I'm really, really excited about that. But yeah, it feels really weird. I can't believe that much time has passed at all. But
I really can't either.
Best year ever.
I really can't. It has been the fastest year.
I'm so emotional today. I was like, I'm gonna cry just thinking about it.
I know. I've been so emotional lately too. I also, right whenever everything was happening with Buddy, I was getting my period, and I was just like, I'm
sick,
just bawling my eyes out.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah.
I have one more update to say that I wrote down. It's not really an update, but I just saw something that reminded me of this. Did you guys have the President's Award whenever you were in school?
Yes, I feel like.
Yeah, okay, so I got it in 4th grade.
Okay. Wait, does it go to a specific person?
Yeah, did you have like award ceremonies at the end of the year?
Yeah, for like honor society and stuff.
Yeah, but we would have it for like other stuff too. Like I don't even remember what the awards would be.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely did.
I feel like there would be like wait, did you have Student of the Month?
No.
Okay, we would have student of the month. Like each grade, they would choose one. It was basically like who was like the kindest person.
Oh,
and it
cute.
was like, anyways, we would have an award ceremony at the end of the year. I don't know what all it was, but there would be like best PSSA grades, like just different things.
Oh.
And I got the President's Award. I don't really know like what it entailed, but it was just like, you're a good student, whatever. And I remember I got it, and it was signed by George Bush.
Okay, well, that's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like for some, and maybe my memory is wrong on this, I feel like a group of people, like, again, I don't know what. Yeah, there was a few. Oh, okay, would get it, and maybe I got it one year, and I just remember, like, and I think it was Obama was president, and I just saw his signature, and I was like, Barack Obama signed this.
Send it to me. Okay, that's what I was going to say. So I saw this person that I follow, for some reason, had a letter from Donald Trump. And it just made me remember, I would say to everyone, I have a letter from George Bush. I would always say it. Clearly, it was like a stamped on signature. I'm like, George Bush wrote me a letter. And then
he said I was kind.
I wrote him a letter back. Duh. I sent it to the White House. I was like, thank you so much, George, for choosing.
That is perfect. That's so funny.
I don't know what it was.
Thank you, George, for acknowledging me.
When I was little, I was just so obsessed with like fame and like famous people. Like I just like was like, I need to be like on the in with like famous people. Like
and this is what's gonna do it for me.
Write letters to Miley Cyrus, and like, did you remember Miley World?
Yeah.
They like one time sent like a postcard back that was like from Miley, and I was like, a letter from Miley.
My gosh.
Like I just really like, I don't know why I was like so obsessed with like the fame thing, but a part of me feels like it's because like I grew up in such like a secluded environment. Like my parents live in the middle of nowhere. We had no neighbors. Like I would see kids at school, but like I didn't have like a lot of interactions like outside of that. So maybe I was just like, this is like amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought of that.
That's so funny. And this is like not to be like meh, but like, you know, like through a lot of like the cancer foundations we're a part of, we got to meet like a lot of celebrities. Miley and Billy Ray Cyrus were one of them.
Really?
If
only I would have been your friend back then.
I know, right? I have like done everything to try to dig up this photo, and for the podcast I'll try even harder. But there is a photo of me and Miley and Lou, I think. And
how old was she?
Was Lou? Oh, Miley?
Yeah.
Probably like 16.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the peak Hannah Montana. Ugh. But because of all of these foundations, like, again, like not to be weird, but like we got to meet celebrities a lot, and I was so awkward. I was just like, hi.
I cannot imagine what I would do even now if I saw a celebrity. Even if I saw like an influencer I know, I'd be like, I actually saw an influencer, the LeBrans, and I just acted like
you're like, hello.
I was like mean. I was like, don't look at me, because I didn't know what to do.
I know. And like one of the podcasts we listened to recently did an episode on
celebrity encounters.
Yes, and I am so mad I didn't submit mine, or one of the experiences, but I'm like, people are like walking up to like random people, or not random people, walking up to celebrities and like Vanessa Hudgens or whatever, and like, can I get a photo? I'm like, I would 1,000% want a photo, and it would be worth it. But I'm also like, in the moment, I cannot get myself to take a step.
It depends on how like big the celebrity is. Like, I feel like I would ignore most people.
Yeah,
not
because
ignore,
I think
but just not
like part of me is like, let them live.
I'm also just like, what am I going to do with this? Like, does anyone care? Like, if I saw Taylor Swift, obviously I would take a picture with her. Like, any of my, like, favorite, like, if I saw the lead singer of Third Eye Blind. But, like, other than that, I'm like, okay, say I see Vanessa Hudgens. What am I going to do with that picture? Show people, they'd be like, oh, my gosh.
Cool.
You saw her. I don't know. Like.
I agree. And, like, but, like, in the era of, like, because, like, a lot of, like, the foundations and stuff were pulling Disney Channel stars. There is one photo I've posted on my close friends, I think before, or maybe full story, that I have a photo with Corbin Bleu. And in the moment I was like, I would take it back to school and be like, it's me and Corbin Bleu.
Like, people are probably so jealous of you. I know.
They're like, when's the next picnic? When can I come with you? Like there were two events in particular where they literally like brought like stars, and you like just walked the table to get like the signatures on like their headshots.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them were.
Would you hang them up in your room?
I definitely had them like in a bin. They might be at my parents' house.
I was just thinking about like how it's actually, I don't really know if it's a thing anymore, but I feel like kids no longer hang like posters on their walls of like celebrities. But would you get like the Tiger Beat or those magazines, and they would have posters in them, and I would get them and put them on my like walls.
I feel like I never, well, I don't know, maybe I did do like a Jonas Brothers one, but as far as like guys went, I feel like I never really did like guys, but like I remember like the first like celebrity that I was like, oh, I really like love her movies and like her music was Hilary Duff, and I was probably like 6 years old, and I had like Hilary Duff posters. I was like, she's the coolest. And then it was Miley Cyrus.
Weird, like just obsessing over another person,
so
and literally putting their picture on your wall.
That's actually like, it's giving me the ick for myself.
I know. I have to put this on the stories for this episode. My room was a shrine to Hannah Montana. Like, again, going back, like, I don't know why for so much of my life I was so obsessed with like certain famous people. I'd really fixate on it. I had every poster of her. You couldn't see my walls.
Oh my God.
I had pillows. I had a bedspread that was Hannah Montana.
I think, was it like the purplish one? I feel like I have like a memory in my mind.
That was my whole personality. And then, I don't know if I've ever said this either. I'm really outing myself. Okay, there's this website. I cannot remember what it was called. But it was like, it wasn't a social media, but it was kind of a social media. It was almost like a Pinterest. You could like make collages and then you would like post them and other people could comment.
Oh, interesting.
It was very strange. But I would take selfies of myself with like my posters of Miley and like pretend like we were hanging out and we were friends. And I would like try to like finesse it, and then like people would literally comment like, if it's really Miley, like have her hold up a spoon, and then I would take a picture like of the spoon, like literally on my mom's digital camera, and scan the pictures in on like plug them into like a real computer, like a desktop, and like make these collages and put them on and be like, there she is with the spoon. And it was so, I was probably like 10, 11 at this point.
Yeah. Growing up, like in the early 2000s, I mean, I feel like everyone might say that, like, about their, like, generation that they grew up in, but I just, like, look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I did the cringiest things. Maybe we're due for a new cringe episode. But
well, there's one.
There's one, like, off the top of my head, one thing that I did was where we lived when I was, like, in elementary school. It was called, like, Paris, California.
Oh, you'd be like, I've been to Paris.
I flew here this morning. And they're like, you did not. I was like, yeah, my address says Paris. I flew in this morning on my private jet.
Oh my God, you would say that?
Yes, 1,000%.
Ashley, kids.
I was literally in second grade and they were like, wow.
Why is that like your intuition as a kid is to do stuff like that? I remember I always wanted to pretend like my leg was broken.
Oh yeah, injuries and me to injuries in high school. I just like.
Oh, mine was like when I was really young. I remember clear as day, like when we would go and like pick dandelions, you would like wish on them. I would literally say, I wish that I'd break my leg. Please. I wanted crutches so bad. And then the other thing I'd wish for is that I would need braces or glasses.
Oh, 1,000%. I was so upset that I never had braces. I was
you didn't? Mm-mm. Your teeth are so straight.
Thank you. It is my biggest claim to fame.
Wow, I did not know that. Did you know Tanner also never had braces?
Wow.
You're like, his teeth are
it shows.
That's crazy.
I know. But yeah, I definitely lied on like an eye test because I wanted like glasses so bad. Like,
Did you
was
get
looking
them?
far away. Oh yeah. Which like now that I'm older, like when I started driving, I don't know if you've like heard this, but I forget what it's actually called, but there is a name for it. But like light, if you're driving at night, like lights are kind of like starbursty.
Yeah,
that became real. Like when I was learning to drive. But when I was a kid, I had glasses for a little bit, and I was the shit.
Ate it up. Yeah. I know. I like never needed glasses, and then I started needing them. And I wore them for like a year, and then I lost them, and I never went
and they're
back.
So expensive. My mom would always be like, why aren't you wearing it? Which again, she thought I had eye problems, but she's like, can't you not see the chalkboard? She's like, why aren't you wearing your glasses? Really hard. Yeah, these glasses were also $200. Like, why aren't you wearing them?
That's why I love Warby Parker. They're only $99.
That's nice.
I need to probably go back and get them because I can tell that I like can't see as well. But I feel like this might be just a made up thing. But I feel like the more that you like wear them and get used to them, your eyes like almost get worse because they like get used to it.
Oh,
that might be completely baseless.
Yeah,
but I feel like now that I haven't worn them for a few years, I'm like, I'm okay.
Yeah, you're like, you know, you just learn to adapt.
You really do.
You're like, it's a little fuzzy over there.
I rely on them.
But, you know, literally you need your eyes to do your job. So.
Well, you know, my style is kind of little of this, little of that. So
it's a little eccentric.
People like the blurry. I'm just like, oh, yeah, that looks good. So I have the ground.
Your bad eyes are actually helping you, making you thousands every year. So that's so funny.
Okay, so Tanner has been saying this for actually months, and he like sent me the TikTok forever ago, but then he just mentioned it now. He's like, you guys should do this, and you said that another podcast we listened to also just did it. So apparently people are catching on.
It's a little trendy right now, but maybe you've never heard of it.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing The Report.
Again, in my mind, it's just like ESPN, like
The Report: Reading, Eating, Playing, Obsession Recommendation Treat.
Okay. Let's do this. We'll go like each letter we'll share.
Yeah. Okay. You go first for reading.
Okay. I don't think I've actually talked about this on the podcast, but well, maybe briefly.
I think you said you were gonna do it.
I did do it.
Yes.
I wanted to read. And if you are a book person, this is like the biggest rule I feel like you can break. But I watched the first 2 seasons of The Summer I Turned Pretty, and then after the season 2 was over and I absolutely hated it, I went to Barnes & Noble and I bought the 3rd book to know how it ended. And I'm happy now.
And you read it very quickly.
I read it literally in 24 hours, which like, that's not to toot my own horn at all. It was a very easy and like readable book, but it made me want to. I literally didn't like go on my phone for like hours at a time. And I was like, I should do this more.
Does she choose someone at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who? I want to know who it is.
Okay. Do you want to know like the last bit? Spoiler.
Just say who she chooses.
Okay. She chooses Conrad.
Oh.
Well, again, it's not really like it's wild. Like
you sent me an update that explained everything, and I did listen to it, but I just
that's right.
You didn't watch
know
it, so I didn't know.
Okay, well, I am actually. It makes me more excited for the 3rd season because I'm excited to see the book play out.
I like that too. Like I love to read a book and then go see the movie. When Where the Crawdads Sing came out, I read the book, then I just went by myself and watched the movie, and it was a really fun little experience.
Cute. And me saying like it was fun to read, and then like I'm waiting for the 3rd season. People at home are probably like, "Yeah, idiot. That's how books works."
But I hate whenever it doesn't like seem like it was in my head. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it's kind of nice because you had the characters already imaged in your head.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The actors from the show, which I didn't do this, but they narrate the audiobook.
Oh.
Isn't that cool?
That's good for them.
Yeah.
My sister like always reads, and then she always gets so mad. Like she'll be like, this is what I pictured her looking like. Like she'll literally Google like girl with red hair and freckles and this, and she'll be like, this is what she should look like, and now she looks like this in the show. No, I'm not watching it.
Wait, did you read the Colleen Hoover famous one? It Ends With Us. That's what it's called. Mm-hmm. They were making it into a movie. Someone told me, I don't know if it's for sure, that they canceled it because it was Blake Lively as like the main girl, and the photos that were released of it, of like her on set, they were like, this is not what Lily was supposed to look like.
No.
And so I think that they canceled it. Again, that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true.
Did you read that book?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's really good. Which Cole and I said that we were going to take books to Maine and just try to like overall disconnect but like obviously connect with each other, but we're like, okay, we should
disconnect.
No, just disconnect completely. So we're both going to take books, and I'm like maybe a quarter way through the book that follows that. She wrote after It Ends With Us took off. She wrote It Starts With Us.
Right.
And so I'm only like a few pages into that, and so I need to pick that back up.
Nice.
But yeah, what about you?
I recently read A Flicker in the Dark.
Oh.
It's definitely like a scary, kind of like a fall vibe.
I like that.
And it's kind of like a murder mystery. Basically, the premise is that this girl, her dad was a serial killer.
Oh.
And she like never knew. It was like a Ted Bundy vibe where he was like the best dad ever, so normal. And then like she found out that he like killed all of these girls. And then so basically she moves away. She like is engaged to this guy. She like has left that life behind, but she still has like a lot of like flashbacks and stuff, obviously. But now in her new town, there's like a copycat killer of her dad that's doing all the same signature things.
Does the killer know that that was her dad?
I can't give anything away, but
are you done with it?
Yeah.
Can I take it home?
I was from the library.
Oh,
I was like, oh, do I have it? Ashley, the twist at the end had me. There was like a twist. I kind of like those books. I do too. It does give me the heebie-jeebies, but I like it around this time of year.
Yeah.
Even though it's like probably the worst time of year to read it because it is like spooky.
Yeah.
But
I read one, like I really got on Book Talk a lot last year. And so they were like, these were like the books that you should read. And I read like another, And Then She Was Gone, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
And that was like another popular one, which like honestly, now that you have like a daughter, I'm like, maybe you shouldn't read that.
Yeah. So my favorite author of all time is Kristen Hanna. And the best book on earth is The Great Alone. If anyone is looking for a good book, that is the best book that I've ever read. But a lot of her themes are like losing a child, like
abduction,
child dying, children. Like the one girl was like drunk driving. This is not The Great Alone, a different book by her. A girl was drunk driving with her boyfriend. She wrecked, killed the boyfriend, went to jail, found out she was pregnant in jail. And when you're in jail, if you have a baby, they just take it. Like if
it automatically goes into the foster system,
either that or like a family member can take it. But like if you're
that's traumatizing.
Yeah, so she like had the baby in jail and then like it went to like a random I think it went to like her boyfriend's parents, but they hated her because she killed their son. Then she got out of jail. She went to meet the daughter. It's like, I can't read these books anymore.
No.
But really good.
Yeah.
Really good. That one was called Nightingale Lane, I think.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right, we need to move on.
Keep going. Okay. What are we eating?
Oh, this was on my update, so I'm so glad that we get to talk about this. I mean, just literally anything fall related. literally anything. Okay, wait. I have 2 points. So like anything fall related. Cole and I the other day, or I'm not going to take any credit for this. Cole made chili on football.
Oh, I love chili. Wait, that was what my family would always make for Halloween, and now it gives me such. Every time I smell it, I'm like Halloween chili.
That's so sweet. Yeah, we both like were leaving church the other day, and oh gosh, like this past Sunday was just like peak fall, and it was just so like it was gloomy, it was rainy, and we like went home from church, and then like he started cooking the chili, and then like we watched football all day. We really just had a field day on Sunday. We made pumpkin syrup, which was so easy. I'll post the recipe. It was so easy. Pumpkin syrup. He made pumpkin bread. And it was so good. What else? And then we bought stuff like chicken noodle soup. So like we're just like,
I literally made pumpkin pancakes and chicken noodle soup yesterday.
Oh, it's crazy. So good. But that, and then we also were like even more now. We already were, but the other night we had like it had been a busy week and we weren't really home at all. So we're like, okay, like what should we have for dinner? And we had a steak defrosted. So we're like, let's just have steak with no sides or anything. And we both just, actually we had our own steaks and just ate that for dinner. And I was like, I want to have this every single day of my life. It
doesn't need a side.
It doesn't need a side. And I always am like a veggie or a potato, something like that. But I just was like, I'm looking for minimal effort. Mm-hmm. We have, if you follow our kitchen account, we posted a couple weeks ago that we tried the new seasoning the board method. Have you seen that before?
No.
Okay. So everyone's like, don't marinate your steak. Like, don't season it while da-da-da-da. Apparently, again, take this as you will. Apparently, when you take the steak off of like the grill or the skillet, whatever, and then place it on like the seasonings in that like moment, I guess, like it's like it wants to absorb as much as possible, so that's where you're gonna get the most flavor. So they're like, don't season the meat, season the board that you're gonna put it on. So we did that. We put butter, rosemary, thyme, salt, pepper, and like garlic, and then you put the steak on top of it, and then it just melts, and then you cut it, and then you mix it together. I'm starving. So good. It was so good. And literally, as we're eating this, I'm like, this is the best meal I've ever had.
Literally. Well, what I was gonna say is we have a steak that I am like, I have it in the fridge with like seasonings on it. It's ready for tonight, and I'm like, so good. Please. Now I'm like, my stomach's rumbling.
I know, and it was just it was delicious. And so now I'm like, I want to be eating steak every single night for dinner.
It's so good.
So we're really in our steak era.
Always.
I mean, I've never left, but it was always once a week. Now I'm like every day.
Yes, I know.
What are you eating?
I mean, I feel like I kind of covered it, but I've been loving soups. And I've also been loving my coffee to be hot.
Yeah, I haven't figured out the method. I haven't tried steaming stuff yet on our Breville.
I can show you. It's very easy.
Okay.
Next thing is playing. I don't really know what that means. Like listening to.
Have you listened to? I think it was yesterday though.
I didn't listen to it.
Okay. She talked about whether it could cover a myriad of things, whether it's movies or music, or like actually being active. Like, 'cause what is playing?
Oh, well, mine would be that I love watching football. Yeah. Love it. I'm obsessed with it.
It's so fun.
And like, it all started whenever I was pregnant. I just found so much comfort in sports being on in general. And now I just like, I feel like this year I'm actually starting to like learn things about teams and players. And honestly, like the overlap with pop culture is what's really getting me. And the girls on What We Said always say about basketball, like that's like what made them get into is like learning stuff about the players. But it's so true.
Yeah.
And now they're making these documentaries, the quarterback documentary. I need to watch the Kelsey documentary now that he's dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Did you see the stats on this of like how much
when you were watching?
Well, I don't know if it was specifically how many were watching. Let me try to find it real quick. But it was like all of the stats of how he literally, like, obviously he's been a very famous quarterback for a while, or quarterback, please, like a famous football. I'm like, what is he? Tight end, something like that. Oh my gosh, where is it? I'll try to find it. But basically he gained 300,000 Instagram followers in one day. His jersey sales, like people buying his jersey, went up 400%. And oh my god,
because he's dating Taylor.
Yes, literally all because they've been like linked together.
Oh my gosh, good for him. He's so handsome. I saw this like comparison of him and Maddie Healy, and I was like, oh,
interesting. But it increased 400% in sales for Travis Kelce merch after Taylor Swift attends week 3 game.
I'm just shocked at how quickly like that happened, that she's at the game with his mom. Like, I feel like they've only been dating like a month. Like, okay, didn't it happen because he made a TikTok that said, I went to the Taylor Swift concert and I wanted to give her a friendship bracelet with my number on it, but I didn't get to.
Yeah, from what I saw.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, I mean, when she was still on her first leg of her tour, which I think ended in like August at this point.
Yeah, so which maybe a month, maybe 2 months. And now she's like with his mom at this game. I'm like, how did you have time to even like do this with your tour, like, and his games?
Where do you find the time for anything?
When were you hanging out that you're like? And she was so excited in the stands. It looked like she was gonna cry.
Yeah,
of happiness.
So much pride for him.
But I love it. I love it so much.
It's a different like type of guy that she's ever gone for, and I'm like, maybe, and I've from everyone that I've seen, everyone's like, I'm here for this, absolutely. And I'm like, if you can get Swiftie approval, you're in. Everyone was very iffy about Maddie Healy.
Yeah, and I think no one really saw that going anywhere. But yeah, I really like them together, and I feel like it's just, yeah, it's a different vibe.
Yeah,
I'm just like, the day that she actually like gets engaged or gets married, I will be so shocked, because I feel like everyone has thought she was going to a million times. Like, oh, the last guy she's dating, Joe Alwyn, what was it, like 6 years?
Together for so long. I was convinced probably that she was like secretly married.
I thought they were too. And a lot of people said that Lover was like secretly like the song that they got married, and like it was revealing that or whatever.
Yeah.
And then no, they broke up.
On the Taylor Swift front, I just can't keep up.
I feel
like you and I are both like on the same page in Swiftiness, where it's like I'll participate in the theories every once in a while. I'm like, oh, did you hear? But I'm like, it will not consume.
I will never decipher it myself. Someone else has to tell me.
Yeah. Did you see like this week there were like codes and like vaults and everything, and I was like, tell me. Like, you tell me.
when it's revealed, I will know then.
Yeah, I was really, which again, people are still speculating that because 1989 comes out soon and she has no features on it, which is very different than any album that she's re-released so far. And everybody, which I would have lost my mind for this because I just love him too, but everyone thought that she was going to have Style featuring Harry Styles. But there's no features and he is not on it.
Wait, did you know that they dated?
Yeah.
Yeah, and did you know that
song's about him?
No, that might be. But the song that I always know was about him is Out of the Woods.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think about it because he got in a snowmobile accident whenever she said 20 stitches in the hospital room. So weird. Anyways, yeah, I love watching football. What are you playing?
Well, I was going to say, like, I don't think I've actually talked about this. What I was going to say is that what Cole and I play when we're in the kitchen, and it just, it's peak vibes, is just jazz music. I always just say, hey,
you guys
Google,
have always been doing that.
Just play jazz music, and it's so nice. Anyways, open up your windows, cook, and play jazz music. It's the ultimate thing to experience in life. But I've also been watching Love Island UK, and I don't know if I told you that.
Is it the current season?
Like the last one that just like passed, like it's done already.
Who's on it?
Molly
May?
No.
Oh, that's the only season I've watched. So
yeah. It's season 10 UK. Molly, Zach, Jess, those types of people. And it's good. I can and I put it, we were talking about this like last night with friends, but like reality TV, like it is so good at being like escapism, but you're also like, what am I doing? Like watching this, am I wasting my life away? But I'm always like doing something productive at the same time, whether it's working or like folding laundry or doing like house stuff.
To edit with.
Yes. And so it is just like if you have ever watched Love Island, it is literally like 60 episodes. So it's a lot to get through. Yeah. I'm finally crossing like the 40
you can threshold. Really just let it play and kind of pick back up.
Yeah. And one thing also, I've like wanted to like post this on Instagram or like my TikTok, absolutely kills me, which again, it's nothing new, is just the songs that
yes,
like there was one that was so on the nose. It was like during a recoupling and they're like, all right, Jess, who are you gonna choose? And then the song was, it's time to decide. Come on, be for real.
I love the people who make the TikToks about the songs on Selling Sunset too.
Oh, I've never seen these.
Oh, have you watched Selling Sunset? Oh, it's just like these like boss babes and they're like all really hot and stuff. And they always will say like the people choosing the music for Selling Sunset and they're like, okay, how about like na 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 na, and then the other person will be like, I was actually thinking I'm gonna get my money, give me that money right now, and then they're like, perfect.
yes, I can't think of anything else.
That's truly what they are.
There was one a couple days ago, I forget what it is, but it was just like it's time to decide. I was like, please. But yeah, so I've been making my way through Love Island and it's really fun.
Okay, obsession.
Oh. Do you have one?
Obsession. I'll tell you one thing I'm not obsessed with. The ballet flats trend.
Yeah, I will not be participating. You know what I care when thinking about putting an outfit together, you know what I care the least about?
The shoes.
Every single time.
But a lot of people would say that that's the most important.
That's what they start with. Yeah, I find like
Peter listening to this is screaming.
Yeah, he's like, you're stupid. I like, which I'm convinced everyone in my life maybe talked to my face about it, but then also behind my back about it, because rightfully so. But I literally ran the same pair of Air Forces into the ground I had them for like 3 years.
I'll be honest, I never thought twice about it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
I do know that they were really old.
And like when we were in Colorado, I hiked in them. Like and there was an incident like in the past like 6 months where they got really, really dirty. Never cleaned them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, yeah, no, these are foul. I can't wear these anymore. So I finally invested in new shoes. I got New Balances and I love them. They're really cute. But I also, like, I'll probably wear those into the ground.
I do the same exact thing.
I just don't care.
Same exact thing. But here's the thing. I'm a hypocrite because I remember whenever the chunky sneakers thing came out, and I remember saying to everyone, this is the ugliest trend. I can't believe people are wearing sneakers with dresses. Why would people do that? That is my only.
It's the only fit
thing about me now is that I wear sneakers with everything. Yeah. And so saying that I don't like the ballet flats trend, if I see someone doing it really cute, I'll probably buy them.
I'll probably come around to it. What was I going to say? I told Cole that this year I want Blundstones for Christmas or my birthday because I'm just like, that's a good shoe. I can run into the ground.
I have had mine for 4 years.
Oh, nice. I thought you had Uggs. Or you have had the separate one?
They're those brown ones right there.
Oh, cute. Nice.
It's good vibes.
It's good vibes. And I just I have a pair of, it's like a brand, but it's like a well-known brand, but I forget. They were like boots that everybody was obsessed with. Tim's. Oh. I have like a pair of Chelsea Tim's that I thrifted last year for like $10. Wow. And they were like my boots. But I also was just like, these were thrifted. So like they're already pretty run down. So I'm like, buy something new. But yeah, that is what I spend the least amount of money on. And if I had a husband that was like, I just need to get these $500 shoes, I would be unwell.
Yes. When we were new to the church that we go to, it was a big thing to do the sneakers. And Tanner was super into them, and he would get them like on the drop and stuff, which honestly has paid off because then he'll resell like the resell thing. But I mean, he stopped doing that years ago, but I just remember being like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I feel like we've talked about this before too. Like, clothes is just the least amount of money I spend because, again, our priorities are just either saving or travel. And so I'm also, like, I don't care.
The things that I flock to are literally exactly what we're wearing right now.
Yeah, cozies.
A crew neck. I want so badly to wear dresses around my house. I really do. And maybe I'll get there. I really want to get like more casual dresses that are just like this long and just like a plain color cotton vibe.
You need to go to Uniqlo. You've been due for a visit. That's definitely where you can find something like that.
I know. But I really want to wear dresses around my house. Just really give me the housewife vibes. But when I see a crew neck in my closet, that's all I want. Yeah. And like a matching pair of sweat shorts.
Yep. That's all I need. I did not wear this to bed last night. I chose this morning.
Same. I was wearing a different sweatsuit. Yeah. Last night I changed. Yep.
What's the next one?
Okay.
I guess I didn't really talk on its obsession, but we can move on.
Just say sweats. Recommendation.
Oh.
Interesting.
Well, I was thinking about it more recently because it has applied to my life, but I said it on my solo episode. The best thing that has ever happened to me is getting a menstrual cup.
Okay, I think about you saying that all the time. Every time I get my period, I'm just like, I just don't think I could do it.
That's fair. Well, I am very nervous that it will be different after childbirth too. And I have had friends say that it
oh, really?
Yeah, that it doesn't like fit the right way anymore.
I feel like I'm pretty similar.
Okay.
Down there afterwards, but
it is literally like, sorry TMI for our guy listeners, but I literally would have to be wearing, you have to have an extra large tampon and then a pad underneath it in case I leaked, and that would be for 2 days, like like the first day of my period. Now I literally just have to change the cup like maybe every 6 hours on the first heaviest days. Never leaks. And
what do you do in a public bathroom though? Like, I know you dump it out. And do you take it to the sink?
I always try to. Okay, so it does take a lot more thought. Like, either if I know we're going somewhere, I'll empty it before we go somewhere, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm good. But if I do have to change it in a public setting, I try to look for family bathrooms because at least the sink is in there, and it's just you.
What if you can't though? Do you just do it in you're at Sheets?
I have done it at a water park before, like where I literally like dumped it and then needed to go. You have to rinse it. You don't have to use soap every time, but you have to rinse it. And I dumped it out, took toilet paper and like cleaned it, and then went over to the sink, rinsed it out, went back into the bathroom. No one really said anything or like looked at me funny. Like, and again, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
But it has, like, I saw a TikTok. Why it's been on my mind recently is because I saw a TikTok of a girl being like, I literally would have to buy a pack of tampons every period I had, and that was like $20. So just think about $20 every month for the rest of my life. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, yeah, and the cup lasts for 10 years. So it just saves so much money. So not only has it made my life better practically, and you don't feel it like whatsoever, it's also just, it's saving me money too.
So maybe I'll think about it.
If you've been on the fence, there's like so many brands that you can get, but I have it's like V for your Viv, I think is what it's called. Something like that. Just Google something like that, you'll get there.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Okay, that's my recommendation. And that will be the last time I talk about it, I promise.
I don't honestly know if I have one right now. A recommendation. I don't.
All
right. Last one is a treat. What has been your treat this week? Mine has been jalapeno chips.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I actually forgot to mention this in our Colonize episode, but someone like in the last day before we recorded sent in, Ashley, what do you think of the new kettle cooked chip? Or sorry, not kettle cooked chip.
Yes, the Kite Hill.
What do you think of the Kite Hill? Okay, so this is breaking news. I have a like little thing of it, like a dip is sitting in my fridge right now. And it has been sitting there for 3 weeks because I don't like it.
Is it the full, like it's new? Like there's, the old one isn't there?
Yeah, it's full new. And I feel like it's lost a lot of its flavor. Like I feel like it just tastes like I'm dipping it in yogurt now.
Ew.
Yeah. So I feel like it's lost some pizzazz. Maybe I'll give it another go.
Yeah.
I'll give it another try. And I'll like maybe post on our Instagram before this episode comes out. But yeah, that is... What was this one technically? What was
treat?
Treat. Oh, okay, yeah. That has not been my go-to treat recently, and it's very sad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of things that I haven't said before. Just maybe a second coffee in the day.
Oh, the best. Really the best.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Cole and I have been together like a lot, which I like really, really love. But yesterday I was in the car by myself for like the first time in a few weeks, and just being in the car, and usually it's like going to like an early morning workout, playing a podcast. I'm like, this in itself is an experience and a treat.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I would say.
Nice.
All right. I don't know how long we've been going.
Well, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes.
Every single time I'm like, it's definitely an hour and 45. And then we look and I'm like, oh, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and
we don't have any.
We got no updates.
We are very loosely talking about fall merch.
Yes.
Or
it'll probably
something.
end up being winter at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I know. We have to come up with a concept first.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Remember to follow and give us a rating and review.
Okay, also our YouTube is like kind of popping off recently.
And people are commenting hate comments.
Yeah, so go respond nice things to them, because I've literally made it my job to respond to the hate comments. But if you're not subscribed to YouTube, go subscribe, because people are really enjoying it over there.
Yeah.
So we love you guys so much. Have a good rest of your week, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.